Okay, welcome everyone to our Plant Strong Monday night call. And we are so excited. Every Monday we come together and we get to learn about our business or our product and how to do what we're called to do well. And we know that leaders are learners and leaders are readers. And that really ties into our topic tonight. Jen Rizer, one of our sales coordinators on our team in Kansas, she's going to be sharing about a book that she's been reading that has really impacted her. And I know a lot of people on our team are reading it because it's really applicable to our business and the thought of getting over ourselves, which I don't know how many times I've said in our business, like the only thing standing between you and your goals or between you and success is yourself, and that's really our biggest obstacle sometimes. So I'm going to turn it over to Jen. I haven't read the book yet, but I bought it on Audible today. So I'm going to listen to it at the beach this weekend. And so Jen, if you want to take it over, and we're super excited to hear from you tonight.
Yay. Hey everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. I'm going to try not to talk too loud. I typically talk loud on these things. But yeah, like Michelle said, one thing that ever since the beginning I've tried to be very intentional about is learning and growing and reading books and listening to audibles and podcasts. I love doing that when I'm doing laundry or driving back and forth, wherever it may be. But I've always tried to just kind of learn and grow and be educated, and especially people who are doing it right. And so one thing that I've read lately is this book, and I highly recommend it. I'm going to see if everyone, there's kind of a glare. It's called Get Over Your Damn Self by Romi Neustadt, and it's a fabulous book. I highly, highly recommend it. And I definitely recommend getting a hard copy too, because she goes through every step of the business and she gives tons of great verbiage, which I love. So it's definitely something you want in hard copy. But I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let's see. Are you able to see my screen? Thumbs up? Yep. Okay. So let me see if I can shrink this. I don't see it.
I don't think you can. You have to be like full screen or just the slide.
We'll see. I'll be able to, well, we'll see if I can read it all, or I may have to shrink it. So starting with the business, kind of what I said. Nope, I'm not going to be able to read it all. Okay, so we'll do it this way. Does that look okay? So some things that we're going to talk about tonight is leading with the business, and I'm going to kind of talk about 3 different ways to do that. On the phone with your warm market, which she talks about in the book, in person with strangers, and then also through a text or messenger to with your cold market. But first, I kind of want to talk about some key fundamentals just of the business, just in general. One of that is your mindset, and she talks a lot about this, and it's kind of an aha moment for me, really thinking like you are a CEO of your own business. You are a business owner. That was big for me because I'd always say, kind of my side business, my little side hustle, or my way of making extra income. And I think when I would do that, it kind of put a softness to it. And when I really kind of had that mind switch of thinking like, I'm a business owner, like it puts a lot more weight and responsibility on me personally, thinking, okay, I need to be taking care of people. I need to be educating them. So for me personally, it just put a little more responsibility on that and a little bit more weight. We hear all the time, if you treat it like a business, it'll pay you like a business. And for me, having that mindset of really thinking like I am a business owner made a difference. She talks about this in the book, but I mean, our job is simple. We simply just talk to people. We talk to people about a product in our business. That's what we do. It's simple, but it's not always easy. You have to talk to a lot of people, a lot of people, and constantly. It's going to be hard. You're going to get lots of no's. There are going to be ups and downs and valleys. But if you are coachable, if you're willing to learn and grow, read books, if you're willing to listen to Casey and Michelle and some of the other leaders, another key is remembering your why. We talk about this a lot all the time. I'm going to go into a little more detail of some great questions that she gives to get down to your why. If you're willing to get uncomfortable, you have to grow. And in order to grow, you have to get out of your comfort zone. And so if you're willing to get uncomfortable and treat it like a business, be consistent and do great customer care, you will be successful. It's just, you got to talk to a lot of people. It's simple, but it's not always easy. And so one of the key quotes that I often tell myself, and it really helps me keep going, is the only way to fail is to quit. And so when I have those hard days, when I think, oh, it would just be so much easier just to not mess with this, it'd be so much easier just to quit, and then I think I can't quit. If I quit, I'm done, it's over. And the only way to fail is to quit. So when you are having those hard times, just take another step, don't give up, continue one more day. And really find a buddy. Jay Martin talks about this all the time. Find a buddy, find someone who's going to keep you accountable. And your main thing is just to be consistent. You educate, you invite people, and you follow up. That's basically what you do. And if you do that every single day, you will be successful. And I heard this story, and I think it's so powerful. If a guy came up to you and said, look, if I gave you $100,000, if you talk to 3 new people every single day for a whole year, would you do it? Well, yeah, everyone would say, yeah, for $100,000, that's easy. Just talk to 3 people. How simple is that? And it's so simple to do, but it's so simple not to do. You have those excuses, you make up stories. Oh, I don't feel like it. But, if you're consistent every single day talking to 3 new people, you will quickly make 6 figures. It's just all about that consistency and continuing to do it every single day. So it starts with hunger, and it starts with your why. We hear this all the time. You want a why that makes you emotional. And so this isn't anything new. We hear this all the time. Kind of these 2 front questions are what we know, but she gives 2 other questions that I think are key and amazing and really take it a step deeper. So, what is your why? Peeling those onion layers back, what is your why? Why did you start this business? It's because X, Y, and Z. Okay, well, why does that matter? And you keep peeling back, asking yourself over and over, okay, well, why does that matter? 5 or 7 times over, you'll finally get to that emotional why. And you want it to be either, something that's going to make you cry. You think, man, if I'm in the same position in a year from now, like that just makes me emotional. There's no way. Or it makes you really mad. Like there is no way I'm going to be in this position in another year. And once you really hit that deep level why, that's your why once you hit that emotional level. So her second question that she goes over in the book is, okay, so why is this so important to you? And she says, get very specific, what do you see? How is this changing your life? How is it going to affect your family? And how is it going to help you get where you want long-term? Like think long-term, like why does this matter? Why do I want to be in part of this business? These 2 next questions I think are key, and I love them. So number 3, if you don't achieve your why, what pain will you experience? And just really thinking about that. Okay, if I don't reach this why, like what am I going to miss out on? What will be the cost of not taking action to build this business? And how will this affect your self-esteem? How will this affect your confidence if you just give up and don't fight through to reach that why that you started? And then number 4, I think this is huge. She says, look ahead 5 years. And if you don't achieve your why, where will you be and what will you have given up? And then this is the key phrase, because you chose not to follow through and take action on what was important. Like to me, I'm just like, oh, dagger. And then she says, write these out, really go deep. And then she says, read over them every day for 21 days. Whether it's the first thing you read when you get up or the first thing or the last thing before you go to bed, but just reading over those and just really remembering what is my why? Why is it important? What happens if I don't achieve it? And in 5 years, if I just give up, what's that going to look like? All right. So now we're going to get in my aha from this book. She really talks about starting with the business. Like when you reach out to someone, start with the business, which was really kind of an interesting concept, I thought, but it makes complete sense. She said you want to lead with the business and then default to the products. And here's why, because if you're reaching out to someone and say, hey, are you interested in my products? And they're not, well, then you're kind of at a dead end. You can't go back and be like, oh, okay, well, do you want to join my team then? Like you just have you can't go anywhere. But if you lead with the business and they're not interested, Then you ask for referrals and kind of explain, well, this is who I'm looking for. You always describe the same person you're talking to. And then once you get referrals, and then you end with the product. I'll give you some verbiage that she shares later with. But so those are kind of what she says. She says you always start with the business, you ask for referrals, and then you end with the products. With the referrals was another kind of something I don't do very well. But okay, so we're going to talk about some of those key resources now. Leading with the business with your warm market, which she talks about, your cold market, and also leading with the business with strangers. So your warm market, she says you always want to start with what's in it for them. And so how you do this is you think of someone that you want to reach out to, and the first thing you do is you go stalk their Facebook, kind of flip through, see what they're up to, what's going on, and try to find out their pain, or at least make a good guess of what their pain could be like. And then you figure out how our business can reduce or eliminate their pain. And then you write it down. So you get a piece of paper, you write down two columns, one pain, the other side no pain. And then she says you have to get on the phone. And so this is kind of her breakdown. So I'm just going to give you one example. She gives a couple different examples in the book, but I'm just going to do one. She talks about being a stay-at-home mom. So you're flipping through, maybe her pain is, she misses making money. She misses time with adults, hanging out with, just people who can have a conversation. Maybe she misses having an identity in something outside of being a wife and mom. And so if she was to join this business, it would take away and kind of relieve her pain, and she would have, she'd be able to bring in some income, she'd have more of a social life, and then she could kind of have it all, be more of a hands-on mom while still making this. And so here's some of the verbiage that she gives. And so what it would look like is, she says, you pick up the phone, you say, hey, Sally, it's Jen. You've been on my mind lately, and do you have a few minutes for me to pick your brain about something? It's only going to take 5 minutes. Is now a good time? And if they say yes, then you just kind of break it down and say, hey, I've been thinking of you, and I remember you saying that you love being there for your kids, but you miss doing something for your sanity, your identity, and your bank account. I thought of you because, I work with a lot of moms like you who love working part-time and having a flexible schedule, yet they're able to pay for college and vacation funds. I have no idea if this would be a good fit for you, but I thought I would reach out, and I'd love to tell you what I'm up to. So some of these key things that she points out is you want to make it all about them, what their possible pain could be. And then you always want to say, I work with a lot of people that are very similar, connecting her that, lots of people just like you are doing this. And then you want to end with, I have no idea if it's for you or not, which shows that you're not attached to the outcome. Whether she's in it or not, doesn't really matter. You have no idea. You're kind of giving her that out. And so next she kind of says, if they want to hear what you're up to, you would kind of walk through this. You would share some short points about the company, some of the highlights of the company. You would share your 45-second story. She says very crisp, just very, touch on a few basics. You want to share some of the key attributes of the business and products, and then ask if she would be open to learning more. You want to keep this very short, 5-10 minutes at the max. You're just hitting some of those key points. And then you kind of want to still create that curiosity, and then ask her if she wants to learn more information. Your whole point is just to kind of give her some key, see if she's interested, and then you want to send her some information later, which is going to be duplicatable to, send videos. And I'll tell you later what those next step is after I go through the other different ways to, reach out, lead out with the business. So next, I want to share a short video of how to reach out to a stranger, someone you don't know, and share the business with them. So I'm going to share a short video.
Hey, what is up? Ray Higdon here, and we are here, day 2, Ultimate Networker Workshop, and I'm here with my buddy Joe. How you doing, man?
Doing great.
Awesome,
A lot
man.
better now.
Yeah, and so I gotta say I'm really proud of this guy in that, he came to this workshop and he had some nervousness, maybe some hang-ups around prospecting, and chatted a little bit, talked with them, and he just totally became a prospecting beast. And so last night he went out, and I'll let him, kind of tell the story. But first, I guess we'll give some shout outs. What's up, Kara? What's up, Casey? Yeah. What's happening? Everyone say, hey, Joe. What's up, Wilbur? Kelly. Awesome. And by the way, if you have teammates that are nervous to prospect, if you have teammates that are, just afraid of prospecting, afraid of rejection, afraid of looking bad or messing up or whatever, tag them. Feel free to share this video because more and more people need to hear this. A lot of people that are scared of prospecting, they think it's some big long process that, okay, well, I'll study for a year and then I'll start prospecting, and that's just not the case. It doesn't have to be that way. And so, what's up, Denise? What's up, Kim? All right, so feel free to share this if you get some value. I do think you will, and I do think some of your teammates will get some benefit from it. So, questions for you. So, Joe, you told me you had been. How long have you been in your company?
A little over 6 years.
A little over 6 years, and how you? So you're. It's interesting to me because you feel fairly confident talking to people.
I've got no problem talking to people, small talk to them all day long. My wife says I'll talk to the town drunk if he'll conscious, but it's getting into the business or the opportunity or switching.
So popping the question.
Right.
That's where you really haven't been doing that. So you'll talk with someone, but not.
Right, and just making that transition into the popping the question, like you said. And after talking to you last night, I shared that with you, and you gave me a couple pointers, which were really.
Yeah, what were some of the pointers? Let's give them some value here. What were some of the pointers I gave you?
Basically, it was just get out there and do it. You told me I know everything based upon our conversations, and you told me what to get out there and say, and basically I went out and you challenged me to talk to 5 people.
Yeah. And so we're in a 2-day event, and that was day 1. And I said, okay, tonight. He said, I'm really nervous to prospect people. I said, all right, tonight prospect 5 people. And at first thing this morning, I come into the room. I'm like, did you do it? And he said he did. So I'm very, very proud of him. A lot of people aren't that coachable. Where they're struggling with something, they're scared of something, and they actually do it. So talk to me about, all right, so let's walk me through. What was the first conversation like? Where did you find him? What did you say? And how did that go?
All right. Well, a group of us went out to dinner here in the hotel, and it was real busy. So after dinner, it quieted down, and I noticed our server. She was running around, working really hard, taking care of all of her tables and everything. And afterwards, when it settled down, I'd asked for her to come back over, and I just told her, I said, I've been watching you while I was busy, and you're a hard worker and everything. And, I'm looking for people that are hard workers to join me in my business. So, would you be open to taking a look at a video if I send it to you? If not, no big deal. It's a way you can make some extra income, and it will not interfere with this job at all. And she was, yeah, sure. And we connected on Facebook.
She didn't throw a drink at you or curse you out?
Nope.
Or...
She didn't ask what it was. She's like, yeah, sure. It's just the fact that would you be open to hearing about something where you can make some extra money that won't interfere with what you're currently doing now? That was, I believe, the key in her being receptive to it and being willing to take a look at it. So we connected on Facebook. And,
okay, so 1 for 1 so far. All right, go ahead.
All right, so then the people I was with, one of the ladies wanted to get a bottle of water, so we went downstairs to the store. While checking out, the guy's ringing her up for her water, and I asked him, I was, hey man, how do you like your job? He goes, it's all right, this could be better. So I said, well, if I could share with you an opportunity where you can make some additional money outside of this and it won't interfere with this job, would you be open to take a look at a video if I send it to you? If not, it's okay, no big deal. He said, sure, gave me his number right there. So I texted him video. 2 for 2.
2 for 2, okay. All right.
So the people we're with, we split up, and the guy I was with, we were heading back to our room. And I went, wait a minute, I don't have my 5 people that Ray challenged me to. So we came back down, and we're walking around, and we go by the Bellman station. There's 2 guys standing there talking to each other. They weren't doing anything, and this is late at night now. And so we walked past them. I told David, I said, And I'm going to go back and talk to those guys. So we go back, and I walk up to the one guy. I'm like, hey, how's it going? You guys having a good night and everything? And yeah, small talk. And then I was like, I asked the one guy, how do you like your job here? He goes, man, I love it. That took me back for a second because you don't often hear that.
Right.
And wow, that's great. I said, well, if I could share something with you where you can make some additional money that won't interfere with the job that you love, would you be open to take a look at a video if I send it to you? If not, it's no big deal. And he's like, sure, absolutely. Even though he loved his job, he was still looking for another source of income or another side gig. And then the guy at the end of the counter, same thing. I turned to look at him, and I didn't really have to say anything to him because he heard it, and he's like, yeah, send it to me. So
4 for 4.
4 for 4.
My goodness.
All right, so now I'm one away from finding that fifth person that really challenged me. And so we're walking around, and we pass a bar. There's quite a few people in there, so we go in to have a nightcap before we go to bed. And talking to the bartender. Now, she was real busy. She had a real busy bar. And she was running around, so it took me 2 or 3 segments to get my story out to her. And ultimately, she said that she had a lot of irons in the fire, and she wasn't interested. So
4 for 5, so only 80%. So that's not too bad. Now I just want to clarify. So there's 2 things to clarify. Number one, I love it that you didn't fall to pieces when the guy said, I love my job. Like some people I think would be like, oh, okay, right? And he just wouldn't have asked it. Yet he was very receptive to, making extra money that didn't interfere with it. So I love that. And the second thing is, had you ever done that sort of thing before?
No.
He had never done this sort of thing before. So I just want to point that out. Because I think some people might hear you. They didn't know you. You had never done it before. And I just want to point that out because some people will be like, oh, well, he's a pro. I mean, he's been doing. No, he hasn't. He did it last night for the first time ever. And so have the boldness to see if someone is open. Now, the person that said they weren't open, did he beat him over the head? Say, well, what's wrong with you, dummy? You should definitely, he said, okay, cool, no problem. Not a big deal. Don't be addicted to the outcome. But give this guy a shout out. Hey, if you have teammates that need to hear this, you do. Tag them. Feel free to share this video.
So yes, I love that video. Very good applications and easy walkways. And one thing I love is that it's so simple. It's nothing that is, when you hear him talk, it was non-threatening. You just think, oh, yeah, sure. Like I even think to myself, yeah, I would totally say, sure, send it to me. Like it's not that, it's just very, so some of his key verbiage was, would you be open? And if not, no worries. And so kind of his example verbiage was, if I could show you how to make some extra income without interfering with what you currently do, would you be open to watching a short video? If not, no worries.
Mommy.
And so, one thing, hold on one second.
Mommy.
Daddy to the rescue. So one thing that I have found is that many people are living, paycheck to paycheck, and, really everybody could benefit from extra cash. Everyone's looking for a simple way to make in extra money, whether it's for vacation funds, whether it's to pay off debt, whether they have lofty goals. And so really it just makes sense to leave with the business. And so after kind of reading that book and listening to that, I kind of put it into practice. And so here's kind of what I did with my cold market on Facebook. So here's another kind of example of some text or messages that I sent out. I kind of challenged myself to do, so many. So this is an example I sent to a friend. I said, and this is a girl that I have not talked to since ever, like years. And I just reached out and I said, hey, Jess, I was thinking of you and I thought I would reach out. I'm building a team of mamas who are coachable and love to have fun. And I thought of you. I'm not sure if you'd be interested in this or not, but I've been working from home as a way to bring in some extra income. I can literally work from anywhere with Wi-Fi. I've been able to pay for kitchen renovations and new furniture. I'm paying down our mortgage and building up our savings. If you're open, I'd love to send you a short video to check out if this and see if it might be a good fit for you. If not, no worries. So a couple keys. I told her I was thinking of her. Not sure if she would be interested. Kind of throwing her like she's able to get out of it. And then I told her what the benefits are. It has been for me. And then also I told her what my next step was. I was going to be sending her a couple short videos. So she knew if she said yes, then I would send her a couple videos. And then I gave her out again saying, if not, no worries. I found that worked really well. I did it to a lot of people. Majority of the people said yes, they would be willing to look at more information. And then I've had a couple new reps, so it's been really cool. And so kind of the book takes you through like what now when someone says yes, they want to learn more information. What is your next step? Your goal is to take them through the decision process as soon as possible. You don't want to linger on while they say yes. You want to kind of go for it and get them in with the next 24, 48 hours. You want to make them quick because they're excited, they're interested. So you kind of want to move them as quick as possible through this process. And so she says, okay, send them a video and send them some information. And here are some of the key ones. And I usually only send 2, and depending on what they know or so here are kind of my 4 videos that are my go-to videos. One is Bridge the Gap, and that's really if they don't know anything. The Jumpstart to Better Health is a 4-minute product overview, which is really good. But typically if they're in the business, I would send them one of those if they don't know anything, and then usually a business video. Casey Schloss has a really good one, and Kurt Beavers both have really good business overviews, kind of everything, the product, the business. And then sometimes I send them a compensation video that's just really simple and short. I want to make sure that they're short so they're not overwhelmed by a super long video. And then your next step is to get them to an event or a 3-way call. And then really your goal of your 3-way call is kind of 4 things. And Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so I joined in from my phone, but I'm almost done. I just had that last slide, and then I was going to conclude. So
Okay.
I'll just do it that way. I'm going to kind of read what this last slide said. It says the goal of the three-way is to bring them to a decision, and kind of the role of the leader on the three-way the first one is to enroll them as a new business partner and kind of asking them on a scale of like 1 to 10, how ready are they? So you can kind of gauge how to lead the rest of the call. 2 is to bring them to a follow-up appointment within the next 24 to 48 hours. So if they're not quite ready, figure out what more they need, and then you can, connect them with another appointment. 3, ask for referrals. And this is kind of how her verbiage is. If she says, if the person says, no, I'm not ready to be on as a business, she says, you may know some people who I can help. Here's what I'm looking for. And then she gives them a very detailed description, and she always describes the person she's talking to. So if they're a stay-at-home mom, if they're really active, if they're a business person, whatever, she always connects the things that they personally are so that they can see themselves kind of in that light and rethink of themselves again as she's asking for referrals. And then the fourth goal of a three-way is to enroll them as a customer. So kind of concluding, I totally understand that this business, is not for you. It's not for everyone, but these products are, and I'd be honored to have you as a customer. So kind of the goals of the three-way is to bring them to a decision, whether it's a business partner, follow up an appointment, ask for referrals, or enroll them as a customer. So here's kind of my conclusion over what we talked about tonight is leading with the business, because everyone can benefit from more income, whether it's your warm market, cold market, or even with strangers. Then your next step is to send them info or a video, get them on a three-way or an event, and help them move through the decision as soon as possible. And that's all I have.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Jen. I don't know why I can't see you, but I can hear you. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to share with us. I'm more eager than I was before to listen to the audiobook, and maybe I'll have to get the physical copy too to get some of that good verbiage. Would you be up for sharing your slides in case people weren't able to write down everything?
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. Perfect. Okay. Does anyone have questions for Jen about any of the processes or verbiage or anything she shared tonight from the book? If you do, just unmute yourself.
Hey, can you email me your presentation so I can take some of that verbiage and add it to our verbiage template?
Yep.
Casey.
Yeah, I could do it.
Anyone else? I thought there was so much good stuff. Oh, one thing I wanted to share was the Ray Higdon video and the verbiage that you shared from it. I think we should have a challenge for all of us going to Tampa to do that while we're at conference, because we have Uber drivers, we have waitresses, we have all different, people working at the conference center. What do you think, Jen?
Shops all the time.
What, Casey?
Coffee shops all the time.
Coffee shops, yeah, coffee shops. Starbucks, it's definitely a go-to. Yeah, so I think that would be a fun challenge to give to our Tampa crew. And even if you aren't going to Tampa, really, you could even work with your upline to think of okay, I'm going to do this 3 or 5 times this week, just to do it in your local community at your grocery store, because really business conversations should and could happen anywhere. One of our 100 Club national marketing directors was introduced to Juice Plus at a grocery store in the produce aisle. So you just never know who's waiting. Anytime I'm in the vitamin aisle or I see someone in there, I like to go down that aisle and see if I can strike up a conversation. So anyways, anything else, you guys? There's a lot of good information. I took a whole page of notes.
Yeah, thank you. That was awesome.
All right. Well, thank you, Jen, for leading us. We appreciate you. Thank you for sharing your time and your knowledge with us. And I will wrap it up here, but I wanted to let you guys know that next Monday night, we have a special guest, Kurt Beavers, 100 Club National Marketing Director, and our leader is going to be speaking on our Monday night team call. So if you have team, and especially new team who've never heard Kurt speak, it's definitely going to be worth for people staying up late or putting their kids to bed early, because he's pretty awesome and he's one of the most sought after speakers in our company, and we get to have him on our team call. So we're grateful. Hope you guys have an awesome night, and we will talk to you soon.
Do not worry. Bummed to not get to see you tomorrow, but I totally get it.
We can hear you.
Super excited for your trip and for your time away. Wanted to give you a little heads up.
Bye, everyone. Good night.
Got some perspective on it.
Now I can end this.